We are working out for the next 365 days in a row. So many of us struggle to make positive changes in their lives, and I tend to give up too. We can't stick to our goals. You see, we've done this challenge at least 10 times, reaching 200 plus days at least twice. I was hoping to get myself into breakdancing shape because I always wanted to breakdance. And failure was crushing. And sometimes when you fail a lot, you give up. And in my case, you give up on your dreams for good. I made excuses instead. But now, even if I give up, or I sleep in, or I stop, we're just going to start over again. We will become stronger. So what follows are my workouts and thoughts each day. Every day, we can decide to make good choices. So don't give up on yourself.
Hello and welcome to Workout Every Day, day number 29. I had one mission and one inspiration. I saw a pretty cool YouTube video online of somebody doing some calisthenics movements to build stuff like a front lever, build things like your handstand, and I was like, ooh, those look like very important and cool things that I should probably be doing. So I found a couple of the movements and decided to just practice them and make that my workout routine essentially. And I'm going to tell you what those movements are. First and foremost, I don't have a lot of mobility in this position. You might be like, Jaden, why don't you just reach your hands out forward to lay them flat down? This mat that I have there just constantly sticks me with nails and like random things. And I got jabbed by it right before the recording. I got some kind of, I don't know, a twig stuck in my hand. And I'm like, you know what? Let me not. So I'm just stretching by rocking back and forth, which I felt was pretty effective. Eventually, you'll probably see me raise my hands out if I keep that in the recording. But I want to do some light, static stretching followed by a little bit of dynamic movement to get us into training. And my splits are a weak point, so gotta work that. I gotta work movements in the split position. And one of the exercises I saw in a workout routine I was looking at online involved being in this position. And let me tell you guys, this, like, doing exercises from this spot for me is like almost impossible. My hips need a lot of work, guys. It's a scary amount of work, but that's why we train. And it's a good thing I tried some of these movements today to let me know how important it is that I'm that I was gonna say that I'm doing flexibility, but I'll be honest, I need to stop skipping it. I keep saying it every single time, but it's gonna result in me not getting the results I want. So yeah, I have to. After doing a bunch of those, I end up doing some cat cow stretches. So I've learned that I've been doing cat cow pretty wrong a lot of the time. So I've been trying to focus more on doing it properly with the correct body position. I feel like I tuck my chin in too much, and I don't have enough thoracic rounding. And by thoracic, I mean that upper spine rounding. It doesn't always feel the best, but I'm working on it. Main issue that I had is my shoulder blades were retracting instead of me keeping my hands firmly pressed in the floor during this movement, which was a huge mistake for me. It wasn't allowing me to feel the stretch that I wanted to feel. All right, let's get into the first movement. I don't know what this is called. It's just something I've seen, but essentially, I'm getting myself in almost an L-sit position. Actually, I'm taking my jacket off. Anyways, yeah, we're kind of like in an L-sit position, and all I'm doing is, with this very slippery floor, I'm pushing my hands down, I'm keeping my core really tight, I'm thinking about drawing my pelvis inwards, engaging those core muscles, and I'm kind of pulling myself up and folding myself in a nice little ball, and sliding back and forth. And that's the first movement. I found it to be very effective and a lot more difficult. See, that's it. I did that, and I was like, okay, I'm already shocked by how hard this is. I honestly felt that this movement would be a lot harder on my wrists, but it's actually not too bad for me. And the more and more I did it, the easier I was feeling the movement get. I mean, well, not physically speaking, but in terms of the mechanics and what I needed to engage. Now I paired that thing with this thingy, and not my idea, but it worked wonders. So essentially, I get my hands around mid-thigh. I use my fingertips or just hold my hands there to keep balance so that I'm able to tuck my legs. I look straight up at the ceiling, and I try and draw up my legs as high as I can up, right? Again, focus on drawing that belly button in, thinking about rotating that pelvis upwards, keeping that core nice and tight, and it feels good as well. And I just did these back and forth, I think about 3 times. I can't exactly remember, but I just kept doing it until I felt tired. Now, I saw a calisthenics video where they had this transition that they were doing, where they would do the tuck, and then they would slide forward. And I wanted to try that myself. It seemed too hard for me initially, but I started trying to get used to it. Yeah, and basically I'm holding myself out there and then I'm tucking. And eventually you'll see me get more and more comfortable with this movement, but it does take me a while to kind of get it. I'm trying to squeeze my glutes, push my hands on the ground, push away, extend, and basically work holds in these different positions. And honestly, it feels great. It's one of those things where I'm super excited about it because I know that this is going to have direct transfer to what I aim to be able to do. And I never even really thought about doing LSIT, but I'm like, probably going to need that skill eventually. I don't know if this is a good starting ground, but these movements seem to make sense. Here's an example of me really thinking about what I'm supposed to be pressing with. You know, squeezing my glutes, pushing my feet down, trying to keep balance in this position. It is very different. I'm not really used to holding that at all, really. Then we get to a pretty insane movement for me, and it wasn't working out well at all, I don't think. I gave it the best that I knew how, but my hips felt really tight and jammed. But essentially, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to lift my legs up and then bring them to the outside, up and then bring them to the inside. Now, I was struggling mainly to find my balance. I found that my body tended to lean back a lot to balance this. Also, I don't know if anybody else has this, but when I'm seated, my whole lower back is completely rounded, just when I'm sitting normally. Like, I have to adjust my back quite a bit. Like, especially when my butt's flat on the ground, I can't find a position where my back is straight. I have to, like, do all kinds of nonsense, right? If I'm sitting on a chair, it's fine, but on the ground, my lower back is completely curved, and I don't know if that's supposed to be that way. But yeah, I essentially struggle through this movement. Oh my goodness. I don't know if it's a matter of technique or hand placement, and that's what I get for just looking at a video and trying to one-to-one copy it with minimal instruction. Movement that you may not have seen before that I really wanted to try out here was reverse hypers. If you don't know what reverse hypers are, look them up. They're a great way to work the glutes in an extended position, okay? We don't really get that opportunity with a lot of movements. And generally, if you're at the gym, if you find one of those back extensions, you can do it on. But you can see me trying to mimic it with the couch, and I'm like, wait, something's wrong here. So I start fiddling around with a few things. First, I bust out the pillows, and I'm like, this isn't working. This feels a little bit better, but it's not really. I'm not able to stretch out at the bottom. What am I doing wrong? What could it be? You see, from here, I'm still working the glutes. It's not completely ineffective, but what if I just use this as a way to work a partial handstand, a little bit of balance, and also squeeze my glutes? So essentially what I said is, hey, let me do that reverse hyper, and then at the bottom, let me try and displace some weight and then balance using my hands. I'm like, this is way more fun and way more useful in terms of the things that I want to work. And essentially, when I move up and I'm kicking those legs up, I'm kicking them out and I'm squeezing the glutes at the very top of the movement, and then I'm getting my arms in there. It felt absolutely fantastic, guys. Next movement here, we got I don't know, I guess you could call them pike walks. Did a little bit of a hamstring warm up beforehand, and then I started getting ready. So I kind of like reach down, I touch the floor with fingertips, and then eventually I start going to palms, and that's kind of how I got into it. And then, yeah, you see me there in that kind of pike position, and man, my back doesn't look very good in that position. I guess that's just the way it looks, huh? But anyways, I'm trying to get used to displacing my weight down and moving and just feeling comfortable with it. So I do spend a lot of time like this. And it's not the most comfortable position, and my hamstrings are constantly stretched as well. So definitely not my favorite movement. You'll see me doing like this hopping variation where I reach out and then move my feet. And then I also do the crawling one as well. I think they both have their own advantages. The crawling one being you can work on that consistent balance and stability. Over time, learning step by step how to move, and then also being able to extend your arms and then catch yourself as you're falling into that position, I think is also useful, right? Because you never know what could happen when you fall out of a handstand. I think it's good to be prepared for whatever, or if you want to progress to certain things like a handstand walk or whatever progression you're seeking. I think these are great ways to train in that position for sure. Anyways, I wrapped up the workout with some alternating kind of front split holds. And that is it for Workout Every Day 29. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.